Hello, friends. If you get cold hands and cold feet easily, then you are in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can improve your body's ability to endure the cold using one of the first exercises I learned when I started training with Wim Hof, the Iceman. If we haven't met before, my name is Justin Rosales. It's nice to meet you. I co-authored Becoming the Iceman with Wim Hof, and I'm also the owner of this channel, Practice Your Passion, where the whole mission of this channel is to help you save time, money, and share ideas so that you can practice your passion, which in this case, I think it's to become an Iceman or an Icewoman. Let me know if that's the case in the comments.
Listen, Justin, Wim.
Over the course of several years, I trained with Wim Hof the Iceman to train my body how to adapt to extremely cold temperatures. And then we wrote the book to show the world how to do the same. Since publishing the book almost 10 years ago, what I learned from Wim has radically changed my life. Not just because I can now wear shorts and flip-flops in the cold, but because I learned how to master a mindset. And you can too. Yes, in this video, you'll learn how to train your body to be in the cold more, but you will also learn and realize that you can push past perceived limits that maybe you've been setting for yourself your entire life. So, what is your why? Why are you watching this video? Let me know in the comments so that I can read it. Okay, now wait, before you jump in, I need to give you some quick context for this video. First, read the disclaimer that's going to pop up in a moment. I don't want you to get hurt. Second, I need to tell you why I created this specific exercise so that you can see if it matches up with what you're trying to accomplish. I first came up with this exercise when I was at college in Penn State. Now, if you don't know, Penn State is like right next to a snowy mountain that people go snowboarding down. And in winter, it is freezing. It's super cold, super windy, super chilly. And basically, you can't walk to class with your hands out unless you want them to be aching for a super long time. And that's what was happening to me. So at this point, I was already connected to Wim. So I reached out. I said, hey, Wim, this is what's going on. My hands hurt every time I'm outside, unless I'm wearing gloves or like digging them into my pockets. What can I do about it? And he said, well, just find some like frozen rocks and just go barefoot climbing on them with your hands, no gloves or anything like that. And then find like a frozen lake, cut a hole in it, and then dive in. Well, at Penn State, I didn't really like it's first of all, great advice. I just didn't have any resources or access to that. None that I felt comfortable doing without getting like perhaps cited for somebody thinking that I'm drunk or something like that, right? Just to being honest. So I took Wim's advice and I started to pull some principles out to see what I could replicate in my home, in my apartment, because again, college kid, don't have much money, don't have many things around me, but I pulled some things around my home and was able to create an exercise that we ended up talking about in the book. This training video, I recorded it at my parents' house 10 years ago using just the resources around me. So just know you can start right where you're at. And if you need help, all of the resources and all the stuff that I've been talking about in this video, you can find in the description. But just know, judgment-free zone here. Just start right where you're at, and please don't skip stuff because I don't want you to get hurt. Let's jump in.
So, let's start by talking about what you'll need for this exercise. The great thing about these exercises is that you can use items that could easily be found around the house. With that being said, there are only a few items you'll need when performing the ice water bucket exercise. The first thing you'll need is a container large enough to fit your hands or feet. You don't want the container to be too large though. The smaller the container, the easier it will be to chill the water with ice. It really depends on the extremities you'll be training, whether it be your hands or feet. The container also depends on whether you're using one or both of your extremities. Your container doesn't have to look like the bucket I use on the right. I purchased this 5-gallon bucket at Walmart for $4. It's extremely convenient if you can spare the cash. If not, any other container will do just fine. I have used items from salad bowls to water coolers, so I'm pretty sure that whatever you can find in your house will do just fine. The other items you'll need is a towel, a couple handfuls of salt, access to cold water, like a bathtub, ice, and a thermometer. But the thermometer is optional. You don't exactly need that unless you want to record your progress over time, or if you're just interested in how cold the water actually is. Step 1. Find a steady place where you can easily place your extremities into the water comfortably. If you're going to be putting your hands into the water, I would suggest sitting on a couch or a chair and putting the container on top of another chair. If you're going to be putting your feet into the water, I'd suggest sitting in a couch or a chair and putting the container on the ground in front of you. Make sure that a towel is sitting next to it so that when you take your feet out, it'll be easy to dry off. In this exercise, I'll be using my feet, so as you can see, I'll be using this desk chair with the container sitting in front of me. Step 2. Fill the container 3/4 of the way with the coldest water you can find. Step 3. Pour in a few handfuls of salt. To shorten the length of this video, you'll only see me pour in 1 handful, but in actuality, I poured in 3. You may also be wondering why I'm putting salt into the water. Well, it's not exactly crazy. When I was in high school, my chemistry professor taught me that salt actually helps the ice chill the water faster. Step 4. Throw in some ice cubes. The amount of ice you use really should depend on how comfortable you are with the cold. The idea is to gradually expose yourself to colder temperatures over time. Never force yourself to do something you can't handle. Step 5. Wait about 5 minutes for the ice to chill the water before doing anything else. Now you'll see here that I used a thermometer to test the water temperature. Turns out, it wasn't really that cold. It was only 51.1 degrees Fahrenheit, 10.6 degrees Celsius. Come on, I can do better than that. So, I decided to kick it up a notch.
Hello again. While Justin from 10 years ago gets ready to share with you what to do once your feet are in the ice water, feel free to subscribe below for more videos like this to help you save time and money while you train.
After letting the water sit for another 5 minutes, I took the temperature again. This time, the water was a lot colder. It was 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 6.8 degrees Celsius. Step 6. Immerse the extremity into the water, take deep breaths, and try to remain calm and relaxed. When your hand or foot first enters the water, there may be a second or two where you don't feel anything, but assuming that the water is cold enough, you'll begin to feel it pretty quickly. Wim told me that during this time, the veins are slamming shut and diverting all of your blood away from the cold area. So at first, you'll most likely feel some pressure. It may be uncomfortable, but after a time, the pressure will dissipate and your foot or hand will readjust to the water. Now it's important to keep in mind that if it gets to the point where you absolutely can't handle it anymore, take your foot or hand out immediately. Do not force your body. Don't feel discouraged if you have to pull out before you can completely adjust. You can always try it again. Each time you do the exercise, your endurance will increase immensely. Gradual exposure is the key to success with the cold. You are conditioning here. People don't go from learning to walk to running a marathon in a week. It takes practice. Step 7. Remain focused on the changes in your body. The cold can be a very dangerous thing if it's not handled with care. You don't want to do any damage, so make sure you're paying attention to every detail. It's important to trust your body and listen to your intuition. So, when do you get out? Well, that's a good question. Shortly after your extremity has adjusted to the cold, you should begin to feel a strange tingling sensation, sometimes numbness, in your fingers or toes. This is an indication that it is time for you to get out. If you are unsure of whether or not you feel that tingling, get out anyway. It is much better to be unsure and safe rather than unsure and damaged. Listen to the signals in your body. This is not a competition, so don't push it. Step 8. When you're ready to get out, dry off your extremities and warm them up. Whether it's simply letting your hands or feet readjust to room temperature, or by putting them under a heated blanket, make sure that you're still paying attention to the changes in your body. Whenever I was quantifying how long it took for my hands and feet to return to normal temperature, I would gauge it based on their flexibility. You'll notice that when you pull your hands or feet out of the water, your fingers or toes won't flex as easily as you're used to. Each movement will feel like it's slowed down. I always marked the end of the exercise to be when the lagged feeling dissipated and my flexibility returned.
Now, if you're wondering if there are other things you could do, the answer is yes, my friend, tons. That's why we created this channel, to help you save time, money, and share ideas so that you can practice your passions, like becoming an Iceman or an Ice Woman. So to connect with more videos like this, click here. To check out Wim's channel, click here. Thanks so much for your time today. Let us know in the comments if this is helpful, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.